About 3 years ago, I hit the YouTuber jackpot and had a video go viral. I had less than 5,000 subscribers at the time, and this video went on to get over 3 million views, massively growing the channel in the process. And then about 2 years later, I deleted the video off the channel. In this video, I'm going to explain why. Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kevin Chapman, reformed family daily vlogger, now man who sits in his office and talks to you about whatever's on his mind. And what's on my mind today is that video that went viral, the back to school autism meltdown video from back in 2017. That is probably the video that led a lot of you to this channel originally. If that is the video that let you end up here way back when, let me know down in the comments that that's the video that originally brought you in. It went absolutely insane. Like I mentioned in the intro, we had less than 5,000 subscribers when that video was made. The video itself got over 3 million views. By the time all was said and done, we were pretty close to 100,000 subscribers just off the back of that one video, and maybe the follow-up that we did the following year that was kind of a look back on how things had changed in the year since. But about a year ago, I actually removed that video from the channel, and all of the other autism meltdown content that we'd produced, just unlisted it all. It's not there anymore. And I did that for a number of reasons. If you want to know what those reasons are, obviously watch on towards the end of the video. I'm going to explain all that in this video. But before we get to that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave one of those. I don't know, the thumb came up early. It's so eager. Make sure you leave a like on the video as well to help that YouTube algorithm out. But subscribe, turn your notifications on, all that kind of good stuff. It would be nice for me to build a few more subscribers off the back of a video that wasn't that one, for my own self-esteem. I want to know that I can do it on my own. But yeah, the video. Firstly, if you haven't ever seen it, I'm not going to show it now. I'm not going to show any clips of it now. I removed it for a reason. But to give you the general idea of the video in summary, before we explain why it's now gone. At the time, Andy, our teenage son, who's autistic, had been refusing to go to school for about 1.5 years. We'd been documenting through our daily vlogs kind of the story of that happening. It originally started kind of as therapy, as like a Big Brother style diary room where we were really struggling as a family at the time, and having these videos and talking to our tiny little audience of a couple of thousand people was a nice little outlet for us to share what had been going on. There was exchange of ideas in the comments section. People were helping us out. We were helping other people out by showing them that if they were going through similar things, they weren't on their own. There wasn't really content in that style that was being made at all at the time. Believe me, we looked for it because we needed help. We were really having a hard time, and it was a really beneficial thing that was never going to actually make us any money. It was never going to become a job. It was never going to become a business, because we'd gone from 0 subscribers to, like I say, less than 5,000 during most of that first year of daily vlogging. It was pretty clear that unless you were really interested in our specific niche content about being an autism family, it was pretty clear that we were never going to get any kind of growth. Luckily, I had my other channel that was growing nicely and is the one that eventually allowed me to become a full-time YouTuber and kind of continue this channel going over a number of years as it kind of, the expectation was, continued its slow growth and just became a fun little side project where I could practice my video editing and my storytelling and all that kind of stuff. But he'd been off school for 1.5 years. It had got round to September and it was time to go back to school, and we put a huge effort into getting him back to school. We'd been working with the school towards the end of the previous term all summer long. We had a plan, and it got to back to school time, and he just ended up having a massive meltdown. He was in his room, floods of tears, screaming, shouting, and we just thought, you know what? We're going to show this because people need to see what this is like, because like I say, there was nothing else like this out there on the internet at the time. There was nobody showing what a meltdown looked like, what it felt like, what it was like from the perspective of the family, from the perspective of the person having the meltdown. And we just felt that this little audience of people who'd been our support group, it felt like something we wanted to share with them. and for the dual purpose of they might be able to help us, but we also might be able to help them. It was very much a two-way street thing. We were in this little group of people that we felt like we could trust, and never for a million years thought that it would turn into the video that it did. We only actually featured probably about 30 seconds of Andy being upset in the video. It was enough to show what it was like, but it wasn't voyeuristic, it wasn't sensationalized, it wasn't supposed to be a, oh, look at the autistic person having a hard time. It was supposed to be helpful and supportive and be the beginning of a conversation. But for whatever reason, it went absolutely stratospheric here on YouTube. Almost immediately, I remember being sat in the Thorpe Park Cafe in October half term. So this would have been about 6 weeks later. And the five of us were sat around there having our meal at the end of our day in the theme park, watching YouTube subscribers tick up. I mean, we were literally watching new subscribers come in real time. That half-term week, we were adding over 1,000 subscribers a day, every day. I've never seen growth like that before or since, unlike like that week of October half-term 2017. And it was mad. And it was pretty clear that it was this one video, the Back to School Autism Meltdown video, that was making it happen. And at that point, we had the conversation of, are we comfortable with this being the video that is growing the channel? Because this wasn't what it was supposed to do. It wasn't supposed to be a video for everybody. It was supposed to be a video for our little tight-knit community. And we were starting to get some pretty nasty comments come in from people who were viewing it for the wrong reasons. And we were already starting to see people come in and view it to laugh at Andy, to mock Andy, to criticize us. We were getting accusations of exploitation, and we were sat there thinking the idea that we're exploiting him is ridiculous, because at this point we've barely made a penny from the channel. You know, it's been monetized maybe a couple of months. The video itself hadn't made us any money. We certainly hadn't seen any money that had come in at this point, because the video came out in September. We're having this conversation in October. YouTube money pays like 6 weeks in arrears. So we hadn't seen a penny from it. And we were like, well, obviously, and we had the conversation there, and we kind of came to the solution of, well, we're obviously not exploiting him because we've not made any money. We didn't make the video to make money. We made the video for this reason. So it's not exploitation. And that kind of became our default position. We never really revisited that conversation properly. And we just decided, no, we're not exploiting him because we know why we did it. We know what it was for. And I still think the video had value, and it did help a lot of people. And there's going to be a lot of people watching this who have stuck around, who, like I say, found the channel through that video, and have now spent 3 years enjoying the channel, benefiting from the channel, learning from the channel, and learning things about themselves, about their family, about us, whatever it is. It may have got 3 million people looking at it, but it got 100,000 people to stick around. So it did have a huge upside, but as time went on, the downside became more and more and more evident. The horrible comments got worse and worse and worse, directed at us, directed at Andy. We ended up turning comments off on the video for a long time, kind of solved that part of the problem, but it was still getting the views. It never really stopped drawing in views, that video. It never really stopped bringing new subscribers into the channel. And there were a few times where we would go back to the well, and we would look to almost repeat the success of that video, always making sure that we had that message of being helpful, of being of kind of showing it from a different angle, showing another learning point. It was always done with the best intentions, but at the same time, I would use the same kind of thumbnail, the same kind of tags, the same kind of wording in the title, because yes, I wanted to help people, but I also wanted it to get an absolute ton of views, because it's nice getting a ton of views. It helps grow the channel, it helps support the family, it helps pay for the trips to Thorpe Park, the trips to Disneyland, things like that we've done over the years because of the growth of both of the channels that I have. So we would occasionally go back to it, and that would lead to more criticism, and we were always like, well, no, we're not exploiting him because the reason we're doing it is this. It was to be helpful. This channel has never been our income channel. This channel has never been the job. My job has always been the other channel. So I've always been pretty comfortable that the stuff I do here can't be exploitation, because we're not really making very much money out of it. this is more of it's still kind of the Big Brother style diary room that it was meant to be way back at the start, where whatever's going on in our lives, we come here and talk about. And for a while it was all 5 of us, and then Lucy went off to uni and Anna wasn't able to be in the videos anymore, and Amy is now living in a different county to us because we moved, so she's on much less frequently. And now Andy spends most of his time in his bedroom rather than in the living room, so he's hardly in the... If I were to vlog around the house the way I used to, he still wouldn't be really in the videos, because it would just be me sitting on my own in the living room rather than me sitting on my own in the office. So it's kind of drifted away from being the whole family doing the diary room thing to me. And you hear me talking about all sorts of stuff on here. We've focused on weight loss recently. We've talked about... We've done a lot of stuff at Comic-Cons and conventions and things. We've talked about some of the business sides of running a YouTube channel. We've covered so many different bases over the years, but we've never really been able to get away from the fact that the thing that grew the channel was those videos that Andy was front and center on. I've actually gone back through and looked at the channel to see just how many videos Andy has been in. It's less than a third of the videos on the channel he's actually in. It's less than a third of the videos on the channel that he's on the thumbnail. It's less than a third of the videos on the channel where we mention autism or autistic or anything like that in the title. But because of those being the videos that grew the channel, so those are the ones that go in recommended, those are the ones that are popular, they're often the ones that people see when they first arrive at the channel. If people then look at the most popular videos on the channel, probably the top 10, 15 of them are all about Andy. And it kind of became there was a disconnect between what we intended the channel to be, which was just this place for me to make videos about what was going on in my day-to-day life, and what people thought it was, which was a channel where we just talked about autism and Andy, because so many people didn't watch the in-betweeny bits. And as time has gone on and things have changed, the Andy stuff is much less of a focus for the reasons I was just saying. He's not in the videos so much anymore. There's not so much news anymore. There's been no real development, no real change as far as Andy's concerned for a long time. I'm not just going to point a camera at him for the sake of pointing a camera at him. So the focus has shifted more towards the in-betweeny bits. And as I started to do that over the last year or so, as I started to make more videos about the weight loss, about the habits stuff, about the productivity stuff, the things that really interest me, that I want to move the channel more towards being about, we were starting to get pushback on that. They were getting much less views than the videos that were about Andy. They were getting far fewer views than the weekly vlogs or the daily vlogs. People were criticizing. I got criticisms of, you used Andy to grow the channel and now you're trying to make it all about you. Newsflash, folks, it was always all about me. The one constant in the channel for years has been me. I'm the one who's been in every video. I'm the one who's always talking. It's always from my perspective. I'm the one who's always holding the camera, and I've struggled with it massively over the last year and a half of trying to work out what the identity of this channel is, and trying to work out if I still agree with having those videos on the channel. And I've kind of got to the point where, well, a year ago I got to the point of, you know what, I want to remove them for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, I asked myself, if he had a meltdown now, would I film him? And the answer is no, I wouldn't. Why wouldn't I film him? Because it's none of anybody's business. You know, we've been there, we've shared that. There's plenty of other people sharing it now off the back of us sharing it originally. If you want to see someone having a meltdown to know what it's like, you can find that. That person doesn't need to be Andy anymore. And we're much more careful about protecting his privacy, protecting our privacy now. You don't know where we live. You don't even know what town we live in. You know, we haven't shared that. We haven't shown you the outside of the house. We haven't shown you a full picture of the car. And we haven't told you what job Anna does. You don't know, or you won't know when Andy starts school. You won't know where he's going to school. We are so much more careful about our privacy now, and that extends to what we're actually showing on camera. So if he had a meltdown right now, you can be absolutely certain I would turn the camera off immediately and it would never get shared. So that told me if I wouldn't do it again, perhaps I should remove the stuff that was there before. But also, I want to try and get away from everybody on the channel expecting me to make that kind of content, because bottom line, he turns 17 this year. He's probably going to be moving out in the next year and a half to go and do whatever's next for him. So when that happens, he's never going to be in the videos because he's not going to live here. And I still want to have a second channel. I enjoy making my Football Manager stuff every day, but I want to be able to have a channel that's an outlet for more of the Kev stuff. I want to be able to talk about business, productivity, health, finance, travel, nerd stuff. And I think probably the headline of the video, which has taken me far too long to get to, is this is me right here, right now, reclaiming the channel as mine and really emphasizing what the channel is and what it's about and what it's never going to be again. It is never going to be a family vlog again. You know what? I really don't like family vloggers. I think it's a bit scummy. And I say that as someone who used to do it, and I am not particularly proud of having done it because, I don't know, I did it for the right reasons. We did it because we wanted to share that stuff. It opened a lot of doors to us, gave us a lot of opportunity. We got to do stuff we'd never get to do otherwise because of it. But I now, the more I've learned about YouTube and the more I've learned, the more I've experienced about YouTube and people and social media and life, I just wish some of our life wasn't quite as public as it was. And I've been trying for a year to pull that back in. So it's never going to be a vlog again. And it's never going to be a channel that's focused on autism. It never was. It's never going to be a channel that's focused on autism. It's never going to be a channel that's focused on Andy. It's never going to be a channel that's focused on anyone other than me. The name above the door is Kevin Chapman. It's my channel. It's about, I'll be making videos about what I want to make videos about. Sometimes there will be vlogs of odd days. Sometimes there will be videos that Andy is in, but I'm drawing a line here and trying to be as clear as possible now, that because we still get these comments quite regularly. If you're waiting for things to go back to the way they were, if you think the only reason we're not vlogging is because of COVID or because of lockdown or because of Anna's job, I'm trying to kind of make it as clear as possible now because I've not been as clear as I could be in the past. They are all contributing factors, but those things changing will not bring things back to the way it was. The vlog is not coming back. If that's what you're waiting for, I invite you to unsubscribe from the channel, because if you don't enjoy Kev videos, you're probably not going to enjoy where the channel goes from here. I am going to have a lovely time, and hopefully those of you who enjoy that kind of content will have a lovely time along with me. I realise it's going to lead to us probably having a drop in subscribers. It's probably going to lead to us getting slightly less views on a video to video basis, and you know what? I'm completely comfortable with it. And just the way this has always been a second channel that we don't rely on for our income, we don't rely on for work. I could close this channel now and still pay the bills with the other channel and with my Twitch and stuff like that. So I know some people will say, well, Kev, why don't you close the channel and start a new one if you're changing what it's about? I think the message to add to that is I'm not changing what it was about. This is what it was always about. Go back to the first couple of months of the channel. I made a video about the boiler. I made a video about my car breaking down. I made a video about me trying DDP yoga. I've made so many of the, we were doing Comic-Cons on the channel right from the start. I think before Andy ever featured, there was a Comic-Con video. I've not changed what the channel is, but because of the nature of which videos went viral, I think there's a lot of people who came in not fully understanding what the channel is, and hopefully you now do fully understand. And if you've got any questions about it, feel free to let me know about them down in the comments section below, and also use that comment section to let me know what you'd like to see me make videos about going forward. Like I say, that for me, the focuses in my life for the last several years have been things like health, productivity, business, finance, and nerd stuff. They're kind of the 5 pillars of what I like to do on a day-to-day basis. If you want to see videos about any of that kind of stuff, let me know. Give me some videos, get video ideas down there. I'll prioritize that kind of stuff. If this is the end of the road for you, if you were here just for Andy and just for autism stuff, and you don't want to be part of a channel that was never focused on that in the first place, if you don't want to be part of a channel where that is very much back burner stuff that will only come up when it's really, really relevant, if this is the end of the road, then thank you for watching for the last 4 years. I hope you enjoy wherever you end up next. And if you see a video that makes you want to come back in again, we'll welcome you back into the fray with open arms. But thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please make sure you give it a nice big thumbs up. It really does help out in the algorithm. And I'll see you back here next week for something about something else. Oh, weight loss stuff. Check the community page. I've not forgotten this weight's weigh-ins on there. Thanks for watching, folks.